So the Buffalo Bills just got a lot better over the last few weeks, and I love what the front office has done. Fans and the press have been frustrated with how the Bills have not had elite receivers around Josh Allen, but Brandon Beame had to re-explain the fact to everyone that the Bills offense statistically was one of the most explosive and high-scoring offenses in the league last year, and the defensive struggles was the reason why the Bills once again came up short to the Chiefs. So in the draft, the Bills went defense heavy with their first few picks, and then recently they added a very intriguing receiver by the name of Elijah Moore. And as a Browns fan myself, I can tell you guys all about him. I really do think the Bills improved in so many ways over the last few weeks, and I want to talk all about it and take a deep dive into what they did. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We were on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so first things first, before I dive deeper into the draft, because I kind of did a surface level breakdown of what went down in my last Bills video, let's talk about Elijah Moore. Moore's definitely a guy just to throw in the mix. I don't think he will play a huge role, especially initially in 2025, but I've always felt that Moore has always had the tools and the ability to be a reliable target. He just has not been put into the right situation. The Browns by itself is a bad environment to be in, but then you add the whole Watson thing, and that was basically a few wasted years for him. But now with the Bills and Josh Allen, this may have been the exact opportunity that he has needed. And he may start to find his stride if he can build some chemistry, because he is just a great and fun guy. The Bills will love him. They will love his locker room presence. This is a guy that is a good route runner, a guy that can create some separation in intermediate and short routes, and this is also a guy that is just a playmaker and always has been. It doesn't matter what it is, he is athletic enough to make a contested catch or to make a play in space. He's only 25, so it's really not like this is a last resort type of move for either side. Again, Elijah Moore has never played with a good quarterback, so up to this point, it would be unfair for me to say who Elijah Moore is as a receiver. This is his chance to really prove himself. I think one of the best ways that you can get Elijah Moore going is to get him the ball early so he can make a play out in space. And if the Bills can use their other receivers downfield to create that separation and that cushion, that's really when Elijah Moore can be at his best. Catching the ball behind or at the line of scrimmage with a one-on-one matchup, that's where Elijah Moore can create those explosive, game-changing plays. With Deshaun Watson, Deshaun did not ever know where he was going with the ball. He didn't know what was going on. He was never on the same page with his receivers or his head coach, and he just got punished by defensive lines. And then Jameis Winston, while he was fun and could sling it at times, the dude was a turnover machine and had no consistency. That's why he's been a backup throughout his career. But Josh Allen, like I said, and like we all know, he is the full package. He is that guy. So this really is Elijah Moore's chance to make things work, because there will not be another opportunity like this again. Alright, now moving on, let's talk draft. I already talked about the top picks of Maxwell Hairston, TJ Sanders, all those guys, and so has the mainstream media. So now I want to take a deeper dive and talk about the gems the Bills got with their later picks. Let's start out on and safety. I always think drafting Buckeyes are great picks because historically, besides the quarterback position, there are so many great players and great defensive coordinators to deploy him in multiple sub packages and adapt to offensive personnel. In terms of his athletic profile, he posted a 4.42 second 40-yard dash and a 41.5-inch vertical at the NFL Combine, earning a 9.82 relative athletic score, placing him among the elite athletes at his position in the draft class. Hancock excels in both man and zone coverage. He has smooth hips, a patient back pedal, and the ability to close quickly on underneath routes. He also has a knack for creating turnovers with 3 career interceptions and 2 forced fumbles, including a 93-yard pick 6, and he shows a willingness to tackle and engage physically, especially in run support and blitzing from the slot. But he does have a few weaknesses. At 195 pounds, his frame is definitely lean for the NFL level, and he may struggle against more physical receivers and disengaging from blockers in the run game, especially during his first few seasons in the NFL, but that's usually what you get in the the 5th round, especially at pick 170. Also, Hancock can get grabby at times at the top of routes when beaten, which may lead to those extra and unwanted penalties. He also kind of struggles a little bit with tackling consistency. He is physical, but his technique can be inconsistent, particularly in open field situations, and that of course is what leads to those missed tackles. In terms of his stats in college, in 2023, he played 13 games, started 7, had 41 tackles with 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles, and then in 2024, he started 14 games and had 48 tackles with 1 interception. The Bills' defensive scheme definitely values versatility and adaptability, and Hancock's ability to play multiple positions definitely fits that mold perfectly. So it's going to be interesting to see how his career unfolds. Obviously, year 1, you can't really expect anything, but I definitely think he's a guy that down the line could fill in for somebody, or he could just himself earn a starting spot eventually, because he does have the talent to if he locks in and just gets better year after year. Anyways, now moving on, let's talk about Jackson Hawes. He's listed at 6'4", some have listed him at 6'5". He's around 250 pounds, and he was of course drafted just 3 picks later at number 173 overall. He spent most of his collegiate career at Yale, but then he transferred for 1 season to Georgia Tech. Hawes is widely recognized as one of the top blocking tight ends in his class, and he's earned a reputation for his physicality, versatility, and blue-collar mentality. Like I said, one of his best skill sets is blocking. He had a 74.7 PFF run blocking grade and a 74.9 pass blocking grade, making him an extension of the offensive line. He consistently creates movement at the point of attack, routinely pancaking defenders in both the run and pass game. He lined up in multiple roles in line, H-back, slot, and even at fullback, giving offensive coordinators flexibility in formations and personnel groupings. He's also a physical guy and nasty finisher. He plays through the whistle, he seeks to bury defenders, and brings a relentless physical approach every single snap. And also, while not heavily targeted, he has reliable hands in short and intermediate areas, catching away from his body, and he can secure the ball through contact. In 2024 at Georgia Tech, he had 16 receptions for 195 yards for an average of just over 12 yards per reception. So those stats definitely don't stand out, so this really is just one of those ceiling picks. The Bills obviously like the potential that they saw, and they think the coaching staff can develop him into something that they could use down the line in their future. Alright, now for the next and final player from the draft that I want to talk about in this video, let's talk about Dorian Strong. He's 6'1", 185 pounds. He's noted for long limbs, fluid hips, and quick feet, which allow him to mirror receivers and disrupt routes at the line of scrimmage. He definitely excels in press man coverage. He uses his length and footwork to disrupt timing and route releases. He's smooth in transition because of the ability to flip his hips and stick with receivers on shorter and intermediate routes, and also he has strong ball skills. He can consistently track the football and break up passes. In terms of his collegiate stats, in 2024 he played 12 games, had 32 tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 passes defended, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. In terms of his fit with the Buffalo Bills, he is best suited for a defense that mixes man and zone concepts, particularly one that values press coverage and utilizes long, physical corners on the boundary. The Bills have historically run a mix of cover 3, quarters, and man. So in summary, Dorian Strong brings length, instincts, and proven ball skills to the Bills secondary. He definitely fits Buffalo's defensive philosophy and can provide valuable depth with starting upside if he eventually polishes his technique and adds some strength in the weight room. But yeah, overall, I think the Bills got a lot better over the last few weeks. Obviously, it's going to take a lot of developing. I think Elijah Moore is the only player that's going to really help them right away in 2025. But really the key to every successful franchise is finding those steals, finding those gems in the later round of the draft. And I think the Bills definitely did that this year. But it's obviously going to be interesting to watch everything unfold. So let me know what late round draft pick you think the Bills made that is going to pay off the most in the comments below. And also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and let me know what you would like to see next in the comments below. And until next time, I will see you all later.